What's up, guys? Theo got his tonsils out, but we're still making YouTube videos. This is the rattle of death coming from the TBR7, and I will play this, but I will also upload the video separately so you can hear the actual audio. I'm just going to turn it down because it's super loud through here. But definitely coming from the cover area there. Given that the bike shifted and drove fine, I didn't feel like it had anything to do with the transmission. I did suspect the Magneto, which it was. So let me sort of walk you through what I did. First thing I noted when I took the cover off is that the battery hold down is gone. So I zip tied that on at the end. Here is the culprit, and obviously the bolts are coming loose. But this thing is in that front case, so it was wobbling around and contacting the magnets or the flywheel. So here's just a little video of me doing that, trying to get focus. It's obviously focusing on the ground. And then I drop it, but maybe you can see. Now the other thing too is there is oil in there, but it just is there to lubricate things. It's not actually. So if you pull that cover off, it won't. You won't lose a lot of oil. So I didn't have to top it off or anything really. It's just sort of residue sitting in there. So yeah, so this is like the cover area. So basically, there's a cover here. There's a cover in this part that covers the sprocket, and that comes off with two bolts. And then there's the cover here, which is the gear that goes between the starter motor and the transmission. And that has like a rubber O-ring, so it's three things, and then you kind of have to kind of wiggle it off because it's got the O-ring on there. And because it has the O-ring, also like this thing there in the center, that's where the pin goes. But watch, there's these little washers that are on there, and so if you have the bike on its kickstand, everything's going to be tilted to the left. So you have to watch out that you don't lose those washers. And then the other thing too is the starter motor in this picture is in. I had to remove it in order to get this gear to line back up, because splining it with the gear down in the bottom and the starter gear and the center pin, it's very difficult. So just undo the two 10 millimeters on the back of the starter motor. You see here too, I have the positive lead disconnected. I actually had the battery completely taken out at this point, just to prevent a short circuit. And just slide the starter motor back, and then you can put that thing in, and then you can slide the starter motor back in. But trying to do all three at the same time, it's a no-go. Here I also have these inspection ports unscrewed. Those are just to set timing or check timing. So you really don't have to take those off, but once you pull that front cover, you can see the paper gasket that's back there. And I did not put any RTV or anything on that paper gasket. Mine looked in good enough condition that I could just put it back on and hope it doesn't leak. This is that starter gear I was talking about. Note the washer, the black washer. There's one on the front, one on the back. There's also, I believe, there's one on the Magneto too. When you put that front cover back on, just these spacer washers are used all over the place. And when you're pulling that front cover off, it's going to be difficult to pull off because it's magnetic. So the magnets that are on the Magneto are going to be stuck to the flywheel. So two things are going to be resisting. The gasket is probably stuck. You don't want to tear it. But the main thing is it's going to feel like there's a spring on there or something. I'm like, is there a snap ring or something? And it's just the magnets. So you should just pull it off. And there's one bolt that you don't want to remove. I think it's back behind here. That obviously just goes straight into the engine. It's not for the cover. That, and then you have this guide here for the harnesses. This is me after I put it back in. Yours may look a little different when you open it up, but it just keeps the harnesses away from the chain. Very important that the lip is tucked behind that lip. And, of course, zip tie your battery. Forget about that rubber hold down they have. It's a joke. And that is it. I'm just going to go over, let's see here, pause. Alright, we're back. And this is just some videos of me doing an oil change. So basically, I've got 357 miles on the bike, and thought it would be a good time to do an oil change again. Obviously, you change it after you take it out of the box before you start it, because it's got shipping oil in it. And pretty easy to do. I don't know here why I was videotaping me with this stupid brake switch for my drum brakes. I know a lot of people have disc in the back. Good for you. I've got drum. Maybe that's why mine was like $200 cheaper from WMB Brighton. WMS Brighton. Wholesale Motorsports, Brighton, Michigan. Best price still online, $12.99, $12.95 shipped with tax. And so basically your drain plug is that guy underneath. I think it's a 19 or a 17 mil. Drain it into a drain pan, and it takes like 1 quart, like 3/4 of a quart. It's like incredible. This bike is incredible. So, if you only need 1 quart to do an oil change, might as well get the good stuff. Go get your 4T 10W40. It's fully synthetic. And that's what they use at all the motorcycle dual sport shops. You know, you get a Suzuki. I know the owner's manual says like use 1540, you know, or something crazy. That's if you had conventional, you know, but 1040, a little lighter but full synthetic. It's great. And this bike doesn't have a filter. I guess maybe you could get a Suzuki filter and put it in there. I'm not really sure. So if you pull off that cover there, it's got a little O-ring on it, you're going to find this little screen. And you can clean the screen with like some brake cleaner or something. Mine had a little piece of like, it looked like a transmission or something. Who the hell knows what that was. But yeah, little spring there. You can see the spring and the cover. And But this drain plug's got a magnet on the bottom too, so that's going to get a lot of like the metal debris from the wear and tear as the engine wears. And that's just the situation, you know. It's like when it's a new bike, you know, you're going to find things that are wacky, like the Magneto bolts came loose at 450 miles and started making this terrible noise at idle. And I'm really happy it wasn't anything worse. But, you know, what are you going to do? Am I going to wait around for like months for them to like try to get it fixed? No. You know, we work on our own stuff. And, you know, just be careful because like you don't want to lose those washers. And you know, if you want to torque things, try to just, even if you're doing it by hand, just that everything's equal. Alright guys, good luck with the TBR7.
I want to watch it.
Yeah.